Why is HEX better than Bitcoin? Well, first of all, it's the fundamentals of the code. The fundamentals of code are better than Bitcoin's fundamentals. The inflation model is better than Bitcoin's inflation model. The staking feature is better than a mining feature. It's new tech versus old tech. It's decentralized versus centralized. Yes, all of those things. Oh, new song. Well, hello, ahoy, crypto pirates. Welcome to Chattin with the Captain on a Friday afternoon, right before the effing hangout. Real quick, say hello to everybody in chat. Red Squirrel, what's up? Oh, gee, freaking master blaster of the coding guys. Red Squirrel's in here. Dino X555, what's the purpose of the orange thing? Well, you're going to find out what the purpose of the orange thing is. I'm repping orange today, fellas. Repping orange. Magnus, what's happening? Princess Hexona and Dorsey. What's up, Dorsey? How you doing? Ready for a night of timeouts? I hope so. We need you in the chat room tonight. Hope you got time tonight. I know you've been busy lately. Let's see. Academaciated. You guys, damn names, man. My thoughts regarding the other tokens remain the same. Work for Ford, buy Ford. Wink, wink. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. What? Am I supposed to be here talking about HEX only? Is that what you want me to do? I only shill HEX. And everything that's being built on PulseChain, on top of HEX, and all this shit. Richard said go do it. That's what they're doing. So shut the fuck up. Fucking tired of you guys fucking crying all the goddamn. HEX only, HEX only. Fuck, that's all I shill is HEX. But I let these guys talk. Let these guys do their thing. Let Scooter fucking fly and see what he does. If he crashes side of a fucking mountain, what right on. But if not, and he does something good, you look like a dumb fuck. But the shit you say, nobody cares about at that point. The shit you fucking try to trip all these people up with doesn't matter at that point. All that shit goes away. But right now it's relevant because you guys want to fucking put sticks in people's eyes. Shut the fuck up. Tired of all you guys. Guess I'm a little fired up. But that's me. I'm the captain. Steering the fucking ship here. My ship. I'm the fucking OG. I'm the guy that's been around from the beginning. I'm the guy that took arrows when all you were in your mama's fucking wombs when it comes to fucking HEX crypto. So shut the fuck up. I stood on the line. I protected the wall. I never stopped doing what I'm doing here. Sometimes I just fucking have had it with some of you. I don't know if that's what the comment was relating to, but some of you feel that way about me. But I don't give a fuck about you guys that feel that way about me because I let everybody speak. And if I don't like it, I ghost it. I walk away from it. And I definitely don't fucking buy it. You guys should start doing that too instead of wrecking yourselves and getting pissed off about it and then going and yelling and screaming at everybody trying to do something in the crypto fucking space. This is the Wild West of finance. I want these smart motherfuckers doing shit. I can't build stuff, but I've been around here for a long time, investing, buying good shit. I had bad shit for a long time, but now I buy good shit. I'm financially free because of HEX. Maybe some of you aren't, and you're sour, and that's what the problem is. I'm fucking free. You guys can talk shit all you want about me. I don't need to do this. I'm here for a reason, and it definitely ain't because of you. It's for all these guys that are working hard, trying to make shit for you guys, trying to make shit better for you guys. And I'll tell you what, these fucking orange dudes are doing a pretty damn good job. And some of you don't like them because you pissed them off and they had to go and jack your shit up. And they're good at it too. These motherfuckers are ruthless. They will fuck you up. Now, I don't condone that. I'm the captain. I'm trying to make the peace. Trying to steer everybody in the right direction. Get the ship in line. Keep the fucking pirates from killing each other. Maybe we got to keel haul somebody every once in a while, but not all the fucking time. I'm going to keep preaching this stuff to you guys until you fucking get it. I'm harder on the people that I care about. I'm harder on the people that I want to see do good. I'm harder on the people that are out there working. I could care less about the scammers. Fuck them. Ghost them. Don't waste your time on them. I waste my time, my energy, my breath, my emotions on you guys who I care about. Care about. That's it. All right. So we got one of the orange guys in here. Not one of the orange guys. We got like the orange guy. Created his own token. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it in a way. I want to know what this guy's made of. I ain't going to let him off the hook. We're going to talk. He's not going to talk. But I ain't seen him do anything wrong. I ain't seen him do anything wrong. Seen him come in here and this whole organization got behind him and what he's doing. These guys are doing some work. And let's just see what's all. So without any further comment from my salty old ass, I'm going to bring up one of the OGs of OGs in the Orange Fellas group, the Tang Gang. Too Spooky. What's up, dude? What's up?
Hey, how's it going? Love the interview. That was amazing.
Wow. I read stuff in the comments, and I sometimes I probably took it wrong from them or whatever, but I sense that with you. And look at all, here comes all the oranges. Let's grow. So, but anyway, I just like to speak to the crew here, because the people that come here, they're the crew. These people, they want to do good, but I don't want everybody fighting amongst each other. I want everybody to give everybody a chance to go do their thing. And man, you guys are really doing your thing. Today's Freeman Friday. You guys we can talk about that a little bit, but let's go back a little. Let's go back before HEX, before crypto, before you got in crypto. Who are you? Where are you from? What's your background? What makes you, even capable of putting stuff like this together?
There's literally nothing special about me. I'm just a dude. I live in the hood. I've lived in the hood for a while, still do. Want to make it out of here, but I have my own moral code for, making it. You know what I mean? So I'm in crypto for the same reason anyone else is, and that's to make money. But I want to change my life for the better, and it's not just about taking a cycle, making a bag, and then dumping on everybody. So my whole motivation for being here is to actually help others do what I'm trying to do, and that's to completely change the course of their life. And I feel like I've got a pretty good idea on how to do that, so I feel comfortable showing other people how to do that too. But yeah, I just want a better life. I want passive income, and I want others to get the same thing. But other than that, there's really nothing special about me. I do judo. I got my certificate right there.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I have a good buddy that's his thing is judo. He fucking throw me all over the place and
so hopefully. Oh yeah, it's great. I love judo. So hopefully, what I can do is get in the right position in life and not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week, and I can focus on exploring the things I actually enjoy doing while also participating in the ecosystem and the community I love and helping other people achieve the same thing. I think that's what we all should be doing.
100, bro. Because I know, man, I worked for the man for many, many years. I traded my hours and my spine for dollars. I won't take it back. It made me who I am. It made me value my time and my physical health a lot more. Unfortunately, like I said, it costs. And yeah, man, there's easier and better ways to do things, especially right now in this industry, because this industry is just full of opportunity. There's so much here for people to do, and that's kind of what I'm trying to put out there is that this industry is literally about to blossom. Like it was that desert plant that's been sitting there for years, waiting season after season. Desert flowers don't bloom like every single year or, twice a year or any of that stuff. Desert flowers take years, sometimes 10, 15 years before they blossom. And that's kind of what we've been doing here as crypto has been stagnant. It has been scammy. It has been full of shit for so many years. And now here we are, boom, we have something like PulseChain that comes out. We have DeFi like HEX that's out. We have decentralized exchanges. We don't have to play in this old dirty sandbox anymore. So now we've got all these tools, and people like you are starting to do shit with them. You know, people like the Tang Gang are starting to put communities together to go out and help market these things. I mean, what got you into crypto? What's your opinion of your experience of it until now? Kind of give me your experience coming into crypto, and then where we're at today, and how you feel then versus now.
So like, to start, I was kind of just speculating on the crypto market. I remember hearing about Bitcoin when I was like a couple years out of high school. I graduated in 2009, so it was like a couple years after high school. I heard of Bitcoin, never got into it. Remember hearing it on the news one day, and it's like, wow, I should have bought it, you know? So I think it was in 2018 I bought Doge, and I sat on that for like a year and a half, and then I sold it on a double. You know, like Richard Hart says, you can sell it on a double. So I regretted doing that because it was before Elon Musk spoke about it. And I was like, well, what's the next thing to buy? So, you know, jumping on Google, looking at stuff, I was like, what should I buy? I ended up coming across HEX. Now, I saw Richard Hart speaking about it. I saw a whole bunch of people talking about it. And this was at the tail end of 2020. But I didn't like jump into it right away. I was on crypto.com because, you know, as a noob, you don't know how to do anything. So I had went to a centralized exchange. But when I finally decided to like jump in HEX, it was after observing the ecosystem for a little while and hearing the naysayers and everyone shilling it. And my big motivation was analyzing what was being said versus like as best as I could process the objective fact. And the reason why I bought HEX is because the haters were actually saying a lot of wrong things. It's like, that doesn't make sense. Like what everyone in HEX was saying made sense, but what everyone that was naysaying is like, no, you guys sound stupid. So my actual motivation for jumping into HEX is because so many people were trash talking it and they weren't making any sense. So I was like, okay, this is probably like a winning strategy. But like I said, I was like a complete noob still. I was learning. Like, I'm always trying to learn when it comes to this stuff. Even today, I'm still learning. So when I was looking at all this knowledge in the HEX ecosystem, I was like, wow, like Richard Hart is brilliant. All these people make a lot of sense. This stuff is really cool. And this is going into COVID. So with everything happening at the same time, I was like, wow, this makes a lot of sense. People are making money. The economy sucks. This is probably something I need to do, you know, from here on out. This 9 to 5 doesn't really work. Job market, you know, you can't really rely on it the same way. Probably won't be able to rely on Social Security either. So I was like, let me start focusing on the crypto. So I was getting my COVID checks, and I was just dumping everything into HEX. I was staking, like my main stakes were all like 10, 15 years. It kind of like messed up my ladder. I didn't know what a ladder was until a few months in. But yeah, I just went balls deep into HEX because it was like very legitimate, a lot of opportunity, and like just so much knowledge. And it just changed my life from there.
Yeah. So your thoughts on crypto before were, yeah, garbage. I'm looking for good stuff. You find Richard. And then that was one of the things that I intuitively, now that I look back, you know, versus voicing it like you just said, one of the things intuitively that I knew, you know, just from, you know, being a street guy or whatever, was when people are talking trash, and they're talking trash, and you know that they're not talking facts, and you know that they're just using their power. I call it strong and wrong. They're using their strong and wrong attitude to say, no, you can't. Like when Richard was launching HEX, what really got me, like took me back to the streets and just really got me fired up was when Tone Vase jumped on stream with Richard and those two lawyers, and they were blasting on Richard like they knew all the legal ease, and they were, you know, hey, we're just trying to keep you out of jail, Richard. You know, I'm going to keep you from being locked up. Listen to me, boy. And I was like, oh fuck, and that was like a cop talking to you on the street, you know. And they're like, it was just, oh man, it just fucking irked me. Like I just wanted to slap them two motherfuckers. And it was that when I realized that, you know what, these people are coming at it from an angle where the truth is not equaling or resonating their narrative and what they're saying. And it was like, oh, that's a hint and a half for my ass to buy more of this shit, because these
Right.
guys are doing it for ulterior motives, not for what they're saying. Like they're trying to protect Richard, or they're trying to protect the space, or they're trying to keep him from scamming and this and that, you know? So yeah, man, that's intuition right there. And people should look at that. Also, like, you know, I've got friends in the space that people talk trash about, and I know them personally, and I know what they do and who they are and what they're about and what they've done, and versus the trash that's talked out on Twitter, you know? And when I meet you, I'm good character. I meet you for just a few hours. I go, this guy's solid. He's real deal. You know, we're going to dig some stuff out of him. So speaking of that, let's get some more truth out of you. So now you come to the HEX ecosystem. You're a dyed-in-the-wool Hexagon, basically. You're like, my life has changed. I got a good crypto. I'm learning how to ladder. You're a Hexagon. You know what's going on. So now you go out and you do your own thing. Now, you know that's taboo, and that's fucking bullshit in this community. Yeah. And you don't do that, or, hey, man, fucking guns are aimed at you. Tell me what you did, why you did it, and let's try and explain to the community what you did, or I'll make you walk the plank.
Well, yeah. So just to go back real quick so I can segue, it's like, so basically my first experience with crypto was missing Bitcoin. I was like, damn, I should have bought it. Missed Bitcoin. Then I found Doge, and then I sold Doge too early. And then I found HEX, and I heard Richard Hart was like, oh, you know, if you hold for a long time, it's a lot better. Staking's going to help save you from yourself and all that good stuff. And I was like, yeah, that made a lot of sense. But I kept learning from my own mistakes. And then, just like I said, coming into HEX, it was like, well, everyone who was naysaying it were not saying objective fact. They were wrong about a lot of things. And like, you know, a lot of people might not want to hear it, but like the Hexagon community, they kind of started shifting into the same thing where it's like, well, this sucks, that sucks, that sucks. Everything that Richard Hart, you know, everything that's not Richard Hart also sucks. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I also just missed like 100x in Doge because I sold it too early. So it's like that ran up. I'm not saying it's a good investment, but like there is money to be made elsewhere. JPEGs are stupid, usually. But that doesn't mean communities don't form around it. That doesn't mean there's not opportunity.
You mean they don't sell for $9 million a piece too?
Right. So I started testing the waters, and I really didn't start testing the waters until Richard Hart started talking about PulseChain. It's like, I'm going to make my own blockchain. I'm going to make my own DEX. We're going to have an incentive token. And then like my brain had to start working out, you know, utility and liquidity and all that good stuff. So because I didn't have it available for HEX, because HEX was just an ERC20. I definitely didn't want to touch Binance, because Binance is like scam city to me. I went back to one of my roots, which was crypto.com. Right before I found HEX, I found crypto.com, and they were working on Chronos. So I jumped over on Chronos. You know, they had their own like fork of Pancake or whatever. So I was testing the waters over there. I was figuring out incentive tokens. I was figuring out liquidity providing. I was figuring out NFTs. And one of the first NFTs I jumped on were the Chronos Cruisers. I made like $8,000 in like 3 days. So it was like, wow, this was an amazing experience.
See, I want to stop you there. So protocols started coming out, and of course now we have some of those protocols over here and whatnot. So you're learning about liquidity providing. This, guys, by the way, this is what, you know, dolphins, sharks, and whales do with their value in order to create more value on their HEX, their PulseX. So he went to another chain as a Hexagon, unbeknownst to everybody else, because if he'd have told you, you guys would have, some of you would have fucking fried his ass. But I'm telling you, there's more to learn out there. Richard isn't going to be able to create everything. Richard isn't going to be able to put everything out there for you. In fact, he said it, you know, you guys go out and build it. I'll give you the tracks to run on. You go build it. And in fact, he gave us really good tracks to run on with PulseChain. So that's what these guys are doing. So continue on. Tell me a little bit about, you know, what you decided to do now. So now you're learning, you're learning different protocols, and now you're coming back into the community with some skills.
Right. Yeah.
And a little bit of cash in your pocket because you learned something.
Right. So like I was figuring out incentive tokens, liquidity providing, what NFTs were really about, how they make value, how communities form around them. So I was like, oh, okay. So it's more than just the JPEG. You know what I mean? Like there's value behind the NFT, not because the NFT exists, but because there's a whole community that usually forms around these things. And when it came to the liquidity providing, it was like, okay, so I heard this horror story of impermanent loss, but then when you actually start understanding the mechanics of liquidity, it was like it's basically just dollar cost averaging. You're dollar cost averaging from one asset to another. And then I began to hate the phrase impermanent loss because I think it's just really, really stupid now. So I went from thinking JPEGs were stupid and thinking impermanent loss was the most horrible thing ever. And like, you know,
They're
you buy
tools.
low, sell high. Yeah, but they're just tools for people to use. So I was like, okay, JPEGs are
If
actually
you
pretty
jab
dope.
one, if you jab a screwdriver in your eye, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. So
Right.
continue. I get it.
Exactly.
Now you're figuring
And
out
it's like,
how
okay,
to
so
use the
like, yeah,
screwdriver.
maybe Hex is the best investment that you're going to buy long term if you can commit to staking it. But that doesn't mean there isn't other opportunity elsewhere. And like, for an example, Richard Hart decided to make a few other tokens for different purposes. So like, tools are tools regardless of who's really behind it, but who is behind it does matter. That's why someone can
Ah,
launch a copycat of Hex and it doesn't go anywhere because it doesn't have the same influence and same community behind it for support. And like basically every token works that way. You can take a completely stupid, pointless ERC20 or PRC20, and just because you have the right people behind it, all of a sudden it becomes a store of value. So like that's the type of stuff I was experiencing in crypto, and that's when my like worldview on crypto changed. And I wanted to bring all that back to PulseChain because that's like Richard Hart was making, you know, his own versions of stuff that was already out there. So
see, this is what the community needs to understand and hear about the person behind these things. Because like I see it out there all over the place. Like the token you create, and we're gonna obviously we'll get into that. It just automatically you're splayed open, you're gutted, and you're thrown on the coals as soon as you made it. I saw it, I watched it. You know, it was like, okay, here's another one getting roasted, and you know, and I want people first of all hearing you dialogue, hearing you, and looking into the camera and talking to people about who you are, and what you're about gives another impression, you know, like, hey, this is who I am. I was a fucking Mexican. I went through crypto. I seen, and you're people are relating with you right now. They've been through the same things that you've been through, but you took it another level because you got a little more upstairs than most of us do. And you said, okay, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to bring this over to the ecosystem. And in my guess is that you were going to try and help the community by adding more products is my guess, right?
that's part of it, but it's more so behavior and opening the mind because it's like you're not going to have a successful blockchain with 4 tokens, you know, like so like PulseChain itself was absolutely in need of a narrative shift to have adoption because it's the only way it's really going to work. So like I decided to participate in that more so as a joke because I can't, like I said, I can't code, I can't build anything, but GoPulse had a tool that let you make a meme coin. So I decided to jump on it because it was like, you know, you might as well. There's no real risk to it, you know what I mean? At least not in making it. But from a community standpoint, that stuff was much more needed versus just a meme coin. So like with all these tools and knowledge that were out there that I felt Hexicans and the ecosystem were missing out on, I do want to be vocal about that. I would want the platform and ability to share these ideas with people so they can do better. Because like I said, coming into Hex, what I learned, like a lot from Richard Hart, but from other people as well, it was like, you know, hold on to your bags for a long time. That's how you make the most money. Passive income is the way to go. One of the best things I heard Richard Hart say that it's like stuck with me. It's like, you know, a lot of people, they might be staking and they're getting these massive returns, but a lot of people are only harvesting their yield and then restaking the principal. It's like, yeah, that's kind of how you should do it. But what was being said isn't what really happened in practice.
Yeah.
So like my whole thing is trying to show, not just say, but show people that if you take a lot of these principles that I know are true, a lot of these principles that we spoke about and actually practice them, you can take a stupid meme coin and absolutely send it.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's what I know about what you just said is that I saw and I was part of the narrative. I was part of like, okay, we're going to stake, we're going to pull the print. Let's go ahead and create ladders, throw them out a few years, plan on your retirement after a few years, boom, 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 reel in those yields and, you know, restake it and continue on with your ladder. But here's what happened. The fucking bottom hit and those ladders came out. And guess what? That principal and that interest wasn't a whole bunch. It wasn't what you wanted it to be. So people had to cash those out, and they weren't restaking, and they weren't extending those ladders. And they're, you know, sitting there trying to pay the bills with it. Some of them quit their jobs too early. Some of them are working on projects or getting involved in this and that and the other. And so that's really, life happened. The bear market happened, and it changed the whole narrative, like you said. So now we've got hexagons dumping versus restaking and building the system. And, you know, when things start to pump a little and people get a little more comfortable, new money starts flowing in, we'll start to see, I mean, look at the staking percentage. It's starting to go down. We'll see it in the bull market. It'll start going back up again. It's human nature, you know, and you're hitting on some really good points. And people may not be saying it out there, but that's what's going on.
Well, and part of it too is like from a community standpoint. Like I said, I piss people off when I say it, but it was like what we pushed like loudly as a community kind of worked against us. Like I pulled up screenshots from influencers from back in the day. It was like, oh, well, the reason why staking is better than providing liquidity is because of impermanent loss, and the liquidity is thin by design. And it's like, well, that's kind of the stuff that shot everyone in the foot, is because you had 10 wallets dumped like $100 million while people were staked. Like, some people followed the program that, you know, Richard Hart set out for everybody, but you know, you got a couple of early buyers that are afraid of impermanent loss, and they want to attack everything that's not Richard Hart related, so people don't get into the ecosystem and they think everyone here is an asshole. Then it's kind of like, well, now you don't get the adoption you probably should have. You don't have the same type of people that were willing to hold the line by providing liquidity. And then when those big stakes came out, everything just tanked. So I'm also trying to shift the narrative in the ecosystem. It's probably a lot of work cut out for me, but there's legitimate, you know, opportunity with providing liquidity, even for HEX. You can do EHEX PHEX, you can do HEX Wrap Pulse, you can do EHEX ETH. Like, there's a lot of opportunity there, and it's also decentralized yield. Just like the HEX smart contract has an inflationary mechanism that gives you decentralized yield. Well, that's what liquidity providing is. It's a decentralized system where you can pop your coins in and they go to work for you, and you get real yield.
Yep.
So it's
and you can set ranges. There's all kinds of adjustments that you can make with this tool. Now, when liquidity providing, I mean, I understood it from the beginning. When we had Uniswap, we started learning from Richard what liquidity providing was, and you know, and I was in buy mode at that time. You know, I was a lobby. I saw a couple of arbitrage deals go, and I wasn't well versed in liquidity providing at that time, but I saw what was happening, and then I was like, wow, man, this really sucks that this one person here is like going in there and sucking all of the arbitrage out every day, and then I seen the liquidity adjust to punk that guy out, you know, and then I saw him dump and FUD, and I'm like, oh, these guys got a new tool, and they're making money off of it. So this is a tool. And so I started to listen to Richard, and I started to study it a little bit and try and understand what liquidity providing was. And, you know, and I knew it wasn't for me at that time, you know, but there comes a time and a point where, you know, big wallets are almost obligated to be part of the system, to shore it up, to, you know, be part of the liquidity. And like you said, make sure that they use the tool and adjust. I mean, and that's why if you look at all my early streams, when it came to liquidity providing, when we had whole channels that were like dedicated to, oh, liquidity providing is the bee's knees, man, you should all be doing it. Like, it's not for everybody. It's not bad, but it's not good for everyone. And you could get hurt, or you can use it as a tool if you know how to use it as a tool to adjust your ratios, to adjust your risk tolerance. You know, you don't need to be all staked, you know, especially if you got a big bag, a big wallet. You know, you can provide and be part of just like you can validate, and you can, you know, put your stuff to work as a validator. So I think that big bags are obligated to, you know, participate in all of these things in the system. But I always warn everybody, when it comes to liquidity providing, know what the hell you're doing. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you could get a result that is not a bad result, but it's a result that you may not want or need at this point in your crypto career, in your investment time frame. It might not be good for you. You might just click a button and end up wrecking yourself or doing something that you don't want to do in the near future here. So liquidity providing is necessary. It's a tool, but everybody's got to be careful and know what they're doing before they start playing with it.
Yeah, definitely. And even Richard Hart, I went back to some of his streams even before I got into Hex, and like there's streams where he was basically like, like not maliciously, but he was basically like fudding liquidity providing. But then you see his tone change over time as he gets more and more knowledgeable about it itself. And he was like, oh, you can consider market making or liquidity providing a legitimate business. And that's, it's kind of what it is. Like, even his tone over time changed. And like to your point, like you're more obligated, at least you should be. Like, that's my whole thing. Like, if you do actually care about your community and you do hold a large position, maybe you should consider the more conservative approach and take that passive income that you can get from liquidity providing rather than just dumping on everybody. Like, if you actually care, like that's my thing. But then with like you said, it's more obligated for bigger bags, but what's a bigger bag if you compare today to like a year and a half from now? Because there's a lot of people who popped in a few hundred, maybe a few $1,000s in Hex when it had like 4 zeros on it. But that's not a big bag then, but 2021 it was pretty big bag, so it's like I try to get that perspective in there for people too, because like even in HOA right now, oh god, I forgot what it is, but a squid position is probably $100 or less. And that's now versus it's like that's now versus you're talking about 2025. What's a big bag relatively speaking? So I try to get people to understand, like, you might not think you have a big position right now if you're providing liquidity, but a lot of these coins are still early. You can get a lot of Hex right now for pretty cheap.
Yeah, you can, and you can buy T-shares for cheap. If you're coming in cash, your T-shares are cheap right now. Yeah. So let's talk about the nasty, dirty little thing, and let's talk about your coin that you created and why you created and what you did to try and be part of the Hex ecosystem, the Pulse, build something on Pulse. Let's go ahead and go all the way back to your first thoughts of doing this, why you did it, how you did it, and all that kind of stuff.
So
which, by the way, it's called HOA, the Hex orange address, right? Am I
right?
Oh,
Hex orange address. So bear market has been pretty bad, but I've been in the ecosystem technically since the tail end of 2020, and because I messed up my staking ladder, I did most of my stakes long, and then I have like a ladder I made starting around I think April or July of 2021, which is like those stakes are down a little bit, but I know when the market recovers, I'm pretty much set in stone because I have all these stakes lined up until 2035. So I feel comfortable because I have an understanding of where the market is going. And when things are boring in the middle of a bear market and you get a brand new layer 1 blockchain and everyone's trying to launch their own things, it's like, why not participate in the fun? So I don't know if people remember, you might remember, but Funding Jim launched this like line of influencer tokens.
Yeah.
And he was giving everyone influencer tokens.
I got a token. Who did that? So I told everybody don't buy it, and then they dumped it and it went off the market right after that.
So I hit up. I quote tweeted Gary, and I was like kind of insinuating that I want one too. And then someone replied to me, "It's like, just go make your own." I'm like, I can't code. I don't know how to make a coin. And he was like, nah, Go Pulse has a tool. You can just go make it. So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I didn't jump on it right away because I kind of thought like it ends up happening anyways, but I didn't want like a too spooky token. I was like, I'm not a meme. You know what I mean? Like a meme coin has to have a real meme. If you remember the Pulse Dogecoin days, that was kind of like my whole talking point then. Like, you need a meme to make a meme coin. So fast forward a little bit, Richard Hart gets hit by the SEC, and everyone's talking about it. The 9-inch team, they made Where Did the ETH Go? And a lot of people were talking about this. So like my brilliant idea, like I didn't have a meme coin in mind when I did this, but like I'm a shit poster. I make memes. So when everyone was talking about the SEC, I was like, oh, it'd be really funny if, the president of the United States decided to talk about Richard Hart and the Hex origin address. But Biden being Biden, you know, he mumbles his words and slurs all the time. I was like, he'd probably mess up the word. Like, this was my train of thought. He would mess up the word origin and he would probably say orange. So I made a meme about that. That was my joke. I wanted to get a laugh out of everybody. So I made a meme and
I remember it. I remember
yeah,
it.
yeah. Biden's going to talk about the HEX orange address and everyone laughed. And then like, it just clicked. I was like, I might as well use GoPulse and make a meme coin. So I said, fuck it. And I launched it. And like, I think the launch of that is a little bit different than most coins, is because I have my values ingrained in me from Hex and Richard Hart. So I was like, I didn't really want a founder's allocation. This wasn't going to be a pump and dump. Would never do that to anybody. So I put 99% of the supply in LP with just some pocket change. It's not like I dumped, you know, $3,000 or $10,000 worth of Hex to make this coin. I started it with $6 in liquidity. I had some spare pulse in my wallet. 99% of the token supply, I dumped it on the market, and I had that 1% on the side because I was like, maybe I'll do a giveaway or some type of competition, meme competition or something like that. But, you know, I guess I had enough of a reputation in the ecosystem where it's like, oh, Too Spooky launched this, I'm aping. So from the first day, we went from 7 zeros and a 2 all the way up to half a cent. And then a whole bunch of people tried to take profits after that. But like, it was a huge move in the first day.
Yeah. First day moves on everything that does
and,
today.
And then it came back and it gained another 0, but like, look where we are today. So like, a whole community formed behind it, but it really just started off as a joke. But I also didn't want to be a scammer launching the joke. And, you know, fast forward to today, it's like we have all this going on.
Nice. Well, so now that things have stabled off, I mean, you guys are having a correction right now with HOA. I think, you know, everything fires and then cools a little bit, and fires and cools and fires and cools. Explain to me like how the community of the Tang Gang kind of got involved with it, and how, you know, what did HOA come? Was it with the chicken and the egg thing? Was it the HOA before the Tang Gang before the HOA, or was it all one little thing that kind of happened at the same time?
So the meme came first. So the meme had nothing to do with the token at first. The meme was just a meme. Then I decided to make the meme after I got a big positive response, and I was like, you know, it's kind of funny that the Hex origin address is a thing. Why not make the Hex orange address based off the meme? So blah blah blah. So then I get hit up by Cookies, who some people might remember as Hex Orca. He's Orange Gooey now, but I get hit up by him and a few other people, and they were like, yo, this meme is dank, it's a banger, we want to like run with it. If with your permission, we can form a whole community and blah blah blah. And at the same time, I was getting ready to go to New York to see the Highest of Stakes documentary. So I was like, I can't really like do any of that stuff. I don't know how to form a community. But like it's a meme coin. It's a community coin. Like I don't control it. I popped it all out there. Y'all bought up the supply. Do whatever you want. So it's like, I can't stop you even if I wanted to. So they were like, dope. So I think it was J Money made the Telegram. Cookies and Bullish, they're like the Chads that really had the idea of forming the community and building all this stuff. And so many things have like just fallen into our lap where we've seen so many different opportunities. It was like, you can't really say like what we have today was even planned on that day. From like, let's form a community. We had no idea that like 9MM was going to be a thing. We had no idea that the Pussycat Farms were going to be a thing. It's just, we were so loud on the timeline. People were like, hey, maybe I should run this by them. And so now we get protocol and collection and, you know, just design conversations about design. Like everything just comes to us now because we've been so loud and we've been so trustworthy and we've been supportive. That's like one of the major things. Is like, oh, you have an NFT collection? Fuck off. You know, like we don't do that. Like lean into us and we can lean into you. If you make something amazing and we like it, we're going to lean in. It's a mutually beneficial system. And
so
that's how we're growing.
Let's talk about that for a second, because, you know, at first when I saw the oranges and shit passing around and I saw it all happen, I'm like, oh, fuck, another meme coin, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, and I'm I've got so many things coming at me in so many different directions. You know, I didn't know who this person was or that person was or what you were doing, how your involvement was with it and all that stuff. So finally I take a moment and I start sitting in some of your guys' Twitter spaces and listening to what was going on. And yeah, there was a lot of shit chatter and meaningless stuff and fights and all that stuff. But shit, Discourse Syndicate was that in the beginning too. You know, that's what we did. But then I started to hear like real people, and then I had a personal relationship with Bullish. So I'm like, well, Bullish is over here. I got to see what these guys are about. And you guys were like opening up and embracing the NFT community is what I saw. And I was like, well, wait a second. Wait a second. There's something going on here. You know, what are you guys doing? So when I saw that, I'm like, let's dig a little deeper. And when I had I got stuff coming to me all the time. So I had a project came to me. And so I went in and reached out to Orca or GUI and brought him the project. And I sat in the meetings and watched how he operated and how you guys operated. And it was open arms. It was nothing in it for us. The community is going to come to your aid and show you what, how, where to do. And we're going to do it to the benefit of you, not the benefit of us. Hey, throw us a bone, you know, give all the fellas a free NFT, you know, something that doesn't cost you or mean anything to you, but man, it was sure just the gesture means a lot to them. And I saw that, and I saw the community when people do this, like open up and turn into this marketing beast, memeing marketing beast. Like, hey, this is our artist. This is our project. We're helping them out. This is for them, not for us. Hey, check this out, everybody. We get a free FT, and they're fucking excited about it. And I was like, that is going to be freaking huge. That is big. That is real. Now, this community, because of our fearless leader, Richard, saying, fuck NFTs, they're all bullshit, blah, 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 you know, and so that became the narrative, because whatever Richard says, people take it to a whole new level, just kind of like that one book everybody reads. It's like, oh, hey, it says this, so fuck you, you know, and
Right.
It's like, you know, and so, but you guys were real, and I got to know who all of you were, and, you know, and even fighting with this side of the community, that side of the community, really liked what you guys are doing. So tell me where the essence of that came from, and you know, tell everybody really what you guys do behind the scenes with, say, a project, because we know now that NFTs, because of the HSI stage, we know now that there's a lot more to an NFT than just a JPEG that may or may not be hosted on the internet later on, blah, 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 blah. So give me your take on that.
Yeah. So like I said, going back, I thought JPEGs were stupid at 1.2, and then I had my own experience realizing that you can have systems designed where people want to participate focused around these JPEGs. And it's like, it becomes more than just the picture that you see on the blockchain. It becomes the individuals that are involved. So what ended up happening with the Tang Gang, and this is mostly accredited to Orange GUI, he had the patronage model. And like you were saying, it's like, yeah, throw us a bone, you know, do a free mint NFT. Let's see what you're about. If we like it, you know, you're leaning into us, we're going to lean into you. And then you kind of have like all these different working mechanics of people having a value add system where they're giving, so other people are giving back. And it just kind of keeps going back and forth in a lot of different ways. And the more that happens and the more people are being rewarded for participating, the more people want to participate to be rewarded. So you have a positive feedback loop. And that's pretty much how it goes. Like sometimes it's not a JPEG, sometimes it's knowledge. Like I said, that's how I got into HEX. I came to HEX and all these people were teaching me. It's like, I want to participate, you know? So it's a system that just works no matter where you do it. But the problem comes down to people who are value extractors. So like our whole thing is to enforce this value add system. And that's why, bro, like, we're so loud.
See, that's important. That is so important, because even your detractors, the people that hate you guys, are really value extractors, because they want their number to go up. They want the thing that they hold on to go up. They are in such a mindset of lack that they don't realize that there's trillions of dollars in the world, but they want everything, every little drop of crypto blood out there to go into their token so they can pump. You know, be damned what you're trying to do, how you're trying to help, the assist you're trying to throw, the new technologies, the new innovations, the stuff that can bring adoption to PulseChain. Be damned that. Fuck you guys. You guys are the problem. No, see, these people are the problem because they want the little bit of value that's in this crypto space to only drip into their bag so that it pumps. It's such a mindset of lack. There is not a mindset of abundance. Instead of trying to build a better community, build a bigger tent, a more welcoming community that brings bigger and better value into crypto, period, they want to go out and extract the value that's there now, the little bit of blood that's left on the streets, you know? And I find that so disingenuous. Instead of getting to know people like you and what you guys are doing, because let's face it, you know, we could sit here and we could have the argument about fucking stupid NFTs and JPEGs. But reality is that things like Tank Talk have been discovered by guys like you. And that can literally change the world. Like literally. And I'm in talks with Drac all the time. Drac and I communicate. He's a freaking great guy. We come from the same industry. You know, we worked in aerospace. I worked in aerospace when I was, you know, being a millwright. And I know him. I know the kind of guy he is. And this guy's doing something good. He's trying to do something good. He's brass tacks, you know, grassroots guy doing this thing. He just happened to fall into it, you know, and it was like, hey, dude, you're the guy that should do this. And so now he's bringing value. Like, we would have never had something like that come to this ecosystem if it hadn't been for guys like you going out there and doing the thing that everybody hated, which was promoting NFTs and helping NFTs get on PulseChain, which is probably the best adoption in the scene up to this point. Am I correct?
Yeah, he from what I understand from you know, the early conversations before we even started minting these things, he was just about ready to give up. He was gonna like sell the idea to like some VC scumbags who were just gonna extract the value out of him, and he was just gonna, you know, like go back to his day job. But like the Tang Gang, understanding, like, you know, better than the average person, understanding tech, understanding how important it is to have this value add system, we were like, yo, we want you. This is dope. Like, let us help you help yourself. And it's like, yeah, like if you look at it on the surface, it's an NFT, but if you actually understand what's going on, it's groundbreaking technology that can literally change the world. So it's like, but this goes back into what I was saying before. It's like us just being supportive and being allowed on the timeline puts these opportunities in our face. And then when we get these opportunities, we can go piss off all these other people that hate us and be like, yeah, look at this amazing piece of technology where I can send you a decentralized video message that no one can censor. You know, it's like now we can actually communicate, you know, without any hindering.
Yeah. Now we
something
got
that
something.
we've been begging for.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at the timeline of how this should all start rolling out, I think that Tang Talk like literally jumped the timeline like fucking way up here. Like, oh shit,
it's in the future.
We got this now. Like the possibilities and the proof of concept, we're going to have it now for like what something that should have came like 3, 4, 5 years down the road from now. You know, I mean, this is freaking huge. I was so excited about it. I went to the mint the other day, and because I didn't get one the mint before, and so I'm in there and I got all these wallets. And because your guys' site's so fucking slow, I had them all rolling and they all hit. It was like 7. So I got 5. I got
nice.
I got a bunch of the Tang Talk.
Yeah, I think I got like 8 right now.
I got a few more than that, but I got a bunch. And yeah, man, it's so awesome. I got to give them out to some of the people that I care about, you know. And
it's awesome.
And then Drac calls us up and he wants to support the PulseChain tour. And he gave us some. So we're gonna be giving some Tang Talks away on the PulseChain tour. So that was amazing. Awesome. So Drac came to us and said, hey, he wanted to support the tour, and they gave us some Tang Talks. So we got Tang Talks coming to the tour, guys. So you're gonna want to get involved in that.
Wow.
Yeah. So so showing the importance, showing the value statement of the Tang Gang and HOA. Would you explain a little bit about, what HOA, the token, is actually doing within the Tang Gang now, as far as, your Free Mint Fridays and all that kind of stuff? Could you just kind of explain how that works and what that's doing, so people can understand that it's not like some kind of give up your keys and kind of stuff, it's middleman crap, explain to them what you guys are doing there.
So the HOA is just like a token that's like the focal point. It's the thing that brings us all together. But the community is way different. Like the Tang Gang is different than the HOA token. So like we tell people all the time, it's like, you don't even have to buy HOA to enjoy what we're doing. Like I like teaching LP because I know it's for the betterment of everybody. So like, I don't care if you don't buy HOA, you can just take the knowledge that we're trying to teach you and go back to HEX or go back to some other coin that you want and learn how to provide liquidity, teach your whales how to provide liquidity. So like that's one angle. Another angle is promoting people to participate. I'm making an NFT collection, something I never thought I would do in the first place. So as other people are getting inspired. Yeah. Other people are getting inspired to actually build on PulseChain. I've been working with an artist. I don't know where he's from, but I'm not dumping my bags over here because I've diversified. I've been making yield on another blockchain, and I've been able to harvest that yield and pay an artist in order to create art to put on PulseChain. So it's like when you understand all the different when you understand all the different things that are actually going on when people have a community like this, you understand how beneficial it is for every single individual involved. And so yeah, when you have, like I said, when you have this value add system that incentivizes participation, people just kind of want to participate. Exactly. And so that's what the Tang Gang is.
And you did it perfectly with a organic meme coin. Like you threw it out there, it boomed, it bammed. People started gobbling up that wanted it. There wasn't like one holder that like just is like ready to dump on your ass, like 10 guys that are in some Telegram room going, okay, ready now. It was like, you just threw it out there. It was your thing. No, it wasn't intentional. It was a joke. It was a meme. It was, and then now it's taken on a life of its own. Now it's provided utility to a whole community of people that are actually doing good for the community, that are actually marketing, that are bringing value to the space that everybody wants value brought to. And I'm seeing some of the people in the chat talking about this. I'm gonna go over something real quick. I know we probably both got to go here, but this is something I want to address. And so twin fam, obviously he's a Hexican. He's obviously had a run-in with you guys in some dark alley somewhere, literally made fun of everyone, talked shit to everyone out of nowhere. And you know what? I know, I get it. And you guys are all, building up behind each other and supporting each other. And it's kind of like a gang mentality where, you all start going out. But here's the thing. What that did is it gave people a place, and it gave people strength, and it gave people a feeling of power, being part of, and that's all fine and good. But toxicity is toxicity, and we're going to have it no matter what. I mean, look, I'm a captain of a pirate ship here. I know what toxicity, and you're going to have people like that no matter what. That's just who they are, what they are. But even Gooey, who has been, blamed as being the most toxic guy in the whole ecosystem, who's come at me, talk shit to me. But when we sit down and talk as human beings, like, RG, you're right. I could learn from you and you could learn from me. And I'll tell you what, I've learned so much from being in some of your guys' Twitter spaces. I've learned a lot about crypto in there. You guys have got some real good ideas and some real knowledge spinning around in between all the weird shit and the memes and the fucking shit talk. Just like here, people had to read between the lines on Discourse Syndicate in order to understand HEX. But I'll tell you what, my little show doesn't get 130 viewers regularly. We don't get that. But today we got that. Why? Because you're here. Because we're talking to the Tang Gang, and I know the Tang Gang's listening.
We show up.
That's what's going on. You guys show up, man. That's what's important. Now, the better and better you get, the more understanding you get, the better your narrative gets, the less toxicity that you guys provide, and or at least starting to do it in a way where it doesn't offend too many people. I'm not telling you not to offend people. It's fine. Let's go ahead and do it. But I mean, you're getting stronger. You're getting better. You guys are reaching out. You guys are making noise. I dig it. I like it. I want to see it. So keep doing what you guys are doing. I'm gonna let you give one last word, but one thing I'd like to say, if you guys in the Tang talk Twitter talk room is listening right now, because I heard you were 3 Minute Friday, I want you guys to do me one favor for the captain, just one. Leave Brissology alone, man. Come on. Brissology's like, he's one of you. You guys got to embrace him, man. I know he's a little Bitcoin bitch sometimes. And I know that he can be a little bit memey himself. But he can't go up against a whole army of memers. He's just one guy. You guys need to freaking recruit him, bring him in, and orange that motherfucker up and get him juiced, because Brissology would be a good part of the group. And man, you guys have just been too rough on my boy. Free Brissology, orange guys, free him up.
Yeah, I'm trying to read some of the comments on the chat. Like they're saying he has to stop calling us scammers and he has to unblock us. He's usually the one picking at us, and we just mean better. But no, so they went on a whole thing too. They want me to talk about the homie NFTs coming up.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick before we out of here.
Yeah, so the homies is an idea I had. It's like my little brainchild. I'm very proud of it. It's a way to fractionalize the community to lower the barrier of entry to participate in an easier way than we're currently doing for anyone to like just dip their toe in the water. So what we usually do is have this metric of 69,420 HOA to participate in a lot of these things, airdrops and whatnot. But now that's become a pretty decent sized bag. It's a few grand. Not everyone has a few grand laying around, but people do want passive income. They want airdrops. They want to participate. They want NFT mints and whatnot. So my idea was to lower that barrier of entry, but also incentivize people to generate yield in some way, shape, or form by holding their oranges by wrapping it in an NFT. Again, NFTs aren't just dumb JPEGs. You can create a lot of great utility for them. So what we're going to do, I can't reveal the number yet, but you're going to be able to wrap essentially like a WhatsApp, a low number of HOA to have this kind of like an access pass to the Tang gang. It's going to be what you need to participate in the NFT mints. It's going to have a royalty pool attached to it. So any of these charitable individuals in the ecosystem, and there's a lot of them out there, like we're signal boosting them. There's a lot of people who are very, very giving in the PulseChain ecosystem. They can, instead of trying to pull up a list of token holders, they can now just airdrop to the royalty pool. And then any of the holders, they can just disperse it amongst all the NFT holders, the homies. Nice. Now, with that being said, since we like to reward creators in our community, we enforce a pretty high royalty. Well, it seems high, a royalty fee for secondary sales on NFTs. Most people do like 5%, 10% or something like that. But we're like, no, you created something amazing. You should get paid for it. So we started doing the 33%. It's the master number. It's the color orange. So instead of an artist from these NFTs getting paid the 33% royalty, it's just going to go back to the royalty pool. So any secondary sales for these homie NFTs, they're just going to go back to the holders. And the really cool part about these NFTs is, on top of it being a low barrier to entry, you actually, at any point, if you decide to exit the system, you can unwrap your NFT and get the HOA back. So yeah, so I was really inspired by what Alex made with the HSIs and the homies, and I was like, this is going to be really, really good. And like, now that I'm going to be an NFT creator, one of the things I'm going to push for is going to be completely up to any artist that wants to do this. But since we have the royalty pool and we're kind of like an NFT community plus, I'm going to be contributing 3% of my royalties from my NFTs to the royalty pool. Oh. And I'm thinking other NFT artists are going to do that too. So as we build as a community, you can kind of speculate on the value of that growing community, because as each new collection comes out and any artist that decides to share their royalties with the Tang gang through these homies, you're just going to have a growing ecosystem of passive income coming from all these different NFT collections.
Very nice. A little marketing incentive to the community to help market their wares for the artists' wares. I love that, man. See, this is
Yeah.
it. This is the stuff that we need to get out there, because now these things can actually be put into action. Like you guys are putting it into action. This is I always say, the proof of concept. Bitcoin was a proof of concept. Ethereum was proof of concept. HEX a proof of concept. The HSI, what Alex did, was a proof of concept. I've always showed all of those things as far as being important in this ecosystem, and what you guys are doing on a marketing level, in my opinion, is also the same thing, because what you're doing is as these tokens rise in price, those of us who get in the beginning and get in early and all that stuff, people, oh, you guys are lucky. No, we knew what we were doing. We saw what was going to happen. And that's where the whales belong, the people that have the vision to see the future. Now, and barrier to entry, for instance, Project Pi, who is they're building validators, and they're building a validator pool so that people can actually have get into that barrier of entry to validating, because validating soon, hey, PulseChain goes to a penny, and boom, validation. Forget your 32 million pulse for a validator. You need to have that barrier of entry broken up so that people can invest in the ecosystem and utilize those tools like you and I were talking about earlier. So man, hats off, bro. You guys are doing all the right things. I don't know. Well, I know why, because you guys are a little toxic and piss people off and kick people in the balls and all that stuff. And that's, hey,
we just don't mind swinging back. We'll swing back.
They're a fucking, pirate ship that is full of a bunch of fucking cutthroats, man. You want to go deal with that or what? You go out there and you fuck with the bull, you're going to get the horns. That's all I can tell you, folks. I don't fuck with memers. I leave you guys alone. I get memed plenty of time. I don't want to get memed. I don't like it. I'm too serious. I'm not a funny guy. I'm not a comedian. I don't dig that shit. I'm from a different era than you guys. You guys all meme each other. I don't get it. It's like, now I'm going to get a bunch of memes right now. But, hats off. You guys are doing great work, man. I love what you're doing. I love what the Tang Gang's doing. I don't like that you guys are beating up on my little buddy Brissology, because I'll see if I can get him to maybe come public and say something to you guys. But I doubt it. He's pretty stubborn. But
I doubt it. He's convinced I'm a scammer somehow. I don't know. I don't even know how, but he's convinced I'm stealing all the HEX money. Okay.
Well, I think that he might have a little bit of a sense of lack himself. He needs a little more abundance in his life, is my opinion, because we all need to focus on going out and getting that money that's not in crypto, and quit trying to just gather all the fucking little crumbs that are in crypto. This is crumbs, guys. This couple $1 trillion market space is a fucking market cap for ants. We need to be 10, 15, 20 trillion dollars. Imagine where all of our projects and all of our bags would be if crypto had $20 trillion and about 10%, 15% of the world involved versus 2 to 3%. We need to start thinking like that and outside the box, and quit fucking fighting each other for crumbs, because that's not what it's about.
Well, maybe when the homies collection comes out, he can mint a homie, and then the homies are for the homies. So maybe at that point, when this collection comes out, he sees that we're actually trying to remove circulating supply that's like intended to not be dumped, then maybe he'll feel a little bit more safe being a homie.
Right on. Hey, bro, did you know those little hood dolls, the homies? Was that inspiration?
Yes, we've made a lot of memes about those. I remember those
shit.
things. The homies, they were great. We sent a lot of pictures in the Telegram.
Oh man, I used to have a collection of those, man, from like back when they first started, and man, I lost the whole box of them in a move somewhere. Man, I'm bummed out, man. I love my homies. Maybe I'll go and see if I can go get some on eBay or something.
But yeah, they're still out there. People
maybe you should put some of those together, bro, and then hook an NFT to each of them, and you can make them looking like fucking Tang Ganger dudes,
We have spoken about that. We're gonna because we don't know how many are gonna be minted. We wouldn't know how many to like mint. So we're doing something more inspired by like the HSIs and the Watsas. Oh, and speaking of which, just because I haven't mentioned it, the reason why it's called a homie, it's because it's a HEX orange address minting instance.
Ooh!
That's the name. But like so I'm gonna ape. Like I'm not gonna, especially since Katie might hear this, I'm not going to say how much HOA I'm holding, but I do plan on heavily participating in this collection myself. So I'm hoping to mint a lot of homies. And I'm hoping other people kind of understand the game that we're going to be playing with these. So I'm hoping a lot of homies get minted, and then people can kind of just share in the rewards for all the people who come in late and they can't buy 69 420 HOA. Maybe they can just buy a homie off of secondary, and then you can be a homie too. So it's kind of the thing I'm looking at.
Cool. Anything last you want to say? All the links are going to be in the description below, folks. Anything last you want to say? Or
Yeah, no, definitely check out the website. There's so much information. You'll see the collections that have been minting today. Free Mint Friday. We do free NFTs every Friday. We get token airdrops all the time. There's no promises on those. Most of those are charitable contributions. We don't plan these. I get airdropped randomly all the time. But go to hexoacoin.com. You'll see a whole bunch of information on there. Definitely check out the Tang Talks. Those things are revolutionary. I don't want to hear any cope on my timeline. If you don't mint a Tang Talk, there's probably less than 200 or 300 left to mint. And then that's going to be it for PulseChain. All the other Tang Talks are going to be on other blockchains, which you can communicate through if you don't know what a Tang Talk is. But yeah, that's it, man. Check us out on the Telegram. We love orange memes. You don't even have to buy the token. We just like orange memes.
Right on, my man. All right, man. Keep growing, buddy. Keep growing.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, hang out in the green room for a second. I'll come catch you. I'll just end up here real quick.
Gotcha.
All right, bro. See ya. All right, everybody. Too spooky, like him or not. He's here to stay. He ain't going nowhere. He's got shit to do, and I think he's making the world a better place with the things that he's doing. All right, everybody. Have a good one. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. See you on effing Hangout in just a couple. Why is HEX better than Bitcoin? Well, first of all, it's the fundamentals of the code. The fundamentals of the code are better than Bitcoin's fundamentals. The inflation model is better than Bitcoin's inflation model. The staking feature is better than a mining feature. It's new tech versus old tech. It's decentralized versus centralized. Yes, all of those things